Hi, welcome back. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've definitely seen this table in the background. Most of my projects start and stop on this table. And this is actually the MFT 1080, which is the precursor to the MFT 3 that Festool offers now. I feel like the MFT 1080 and the MFT 3 are very similar. I don't feel like you're losing a lot of features by staying with the 1080. And I think Festool may have provided some of these tables and MFT3s too to businesses to do demos. And so sometimes when you walk in, there'll be a table sitting there that's a demo table that has a few cuts in it, or a few nicks and isn't perfect. But a lot of times they'll sell those. That's how I got this one. I just asked about it and they ended up selling it to me for around $200. The MFT3 is around $600, so quite a lot more. But as crazy as it sounds, I think if something happened to this table and I couldn't find another 1080, I would probably buy an MFT3 just because I use it so continuously in my small shop. So these tables are about 46 inches by about 28 and a half inches deep. They weigh right around 60 pounds, which is not light by any means, but it's not crazy heavy. I wouldn't want to lug this thing up and down flights of stairs every day to a job site or something. You could, I suppose, but it's pretty heavy to carry on your own for very far. But that's one of the things that I love about it too, because it's light enough that you can move it if you need to, but it's also heavy enough that it's really stable also. It's when you kind of see these, they kind of look like glorified card tables, and they're really not. They're really sturdy. They're much sturdier than you would think. And the little bit of wobbles that it gives just are not a big deal. And I do a lot of detail work too, so it just has not bothered me at all. I've really enjoyed using it. In my opinion, by far the best feature of these tables is the clamping situation and how many different ways you can clamp pieces to the table itself. I would highly recommend spending the extra $100 or whatever to get a few Festool clamps. I have just the basic set, which they all come in twos. This one, there's two of these and two of these. The short one and the long one, and these are the cheapest ones I think that Festool makes, but I really like these. They're built really well and they work awesome in conjunction with the table, so really happy with these. You can clamp straight through the top of the table. You can clamp to the side of the table. You can clamp to this little edge that runs next to the top of the table. And there are just lots of options, which is something I think is really cool and extremely useful for me. I also bought these clamps from Festool, and these also come in packs of twos. They're kind of meant to hold pieces while you're sanding, and that's the best use for them. They are definitely more expensive than the other clamps, and I don't use them nearly as much as I thought I would. I do use them a fair amount for sanding or for holding just a weird piece, but oftentimes I will just put in a stopper block and then use one of the regular clamps to hold it flat and push against this stop block. So I think these are great also, but I just don't use them as much as the regular clamps. All of these tables come with an MDF top, and MDF will kind of bend a little bit in areas where it's not supported. These tables are only supported on the very edge. There is no beams kind of running across underneath to hold it up. So when I got mine, I checked it with a straight edge just to see how flat it actually was, and there was a tiny bit of sag in the middle. So I just ran a couple of boards through the joiner and then put them up underneath here and screwed them in all the way along this way, so that it ended up making the middle nice and flat, and it's stayed that way for quite a long time. So if you do want yours dead flat, you can just put a couple of those on. Mine also has all of the regular holes just like normal, but here in the middle I have a fairly large hole that I've just made bigger, and this hole actually is for my router. So I've got a router mounted underneath right in the middle, and if I need to use it, I can just screw it up on its base. If I don't need to use it, I'll just lower it back down. And since this is nice and flat now, it works perfect as a kind of a on-the-go router table also. I don't use it all that much, but occasionally when I do, it works really well and it saves me a lot of space in my small shop. As you can see on the back of my table here, I've got a lot of chisels and stuff in the holes on the back of the table. And that is a really nice feature just because you can have a few of the tools that you use often right there. Even when you're out working on location or whatever, if you have a chisel, you can put it in one of those holes that it's nice and secure and it's easy at hand. And it's just something that I use it for a lot, and it's just really convenient. So that's another nice feature. As much as I would love to build, a 500-pound workbench with a fancy vise and all the bells and whistles, I'm not really in my forever shop yet, or at least I don't think so. And until I am, I'm going to hold off on building my perfect workbench. But I think Festool with these MFT tables really did an awesome job at providing people like me with a workbench that's solid and stable, and you can do professional level work on it, yet they made it portable, which is so awesome. I think there are a lot of people in the same situation using rented spaces, things like that, that aren't probably going to be their forever shop. And for those people and for me, the MFT is a really great option as far as quality, as far as stability, as far as portability. Festool did a really awesome job with this tool, and I dare to say it's probably my favorite Festool tool that I own. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.